Good afternoon, everybody. Turns out my phone and my computer say two different times, but let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm Melody Crenshaw, the Transfer Virginia Portal Coordinator. And this particular training called Let's Get Started is really just that, an introduction to the Transfer Virginia Portal, the website that is specifically designed to increase the transparency of transfer options to high school students, community college students, even four-year university students looking at their transfer options within the state of Virginia. So I am going to share my screen and jump right in. My goal is to keep the tour of the portal to about 20 minutes, and then I'll turn off the recording and open it up for questions and answers for another 10 minutes to try to keep this at a brief 30-minute training session. Always a good goal. So you should be seeing the Transfer Virginia portal. This is the homepage at www.transfervirginia.org. And if you are not seeing that, will somebody please throw it in the chat that you're not seeing it? All right, so I want to start with what's visible on the home screen, homepage, and where do you go to make best use of this? And I know, according to what I'm seeing, a bunch of you are college advisors, but I think what I'm going to show you today is really for all users. And so that's students. If you're working with a student, please encourage them to create an account, and I'll show you why. If you're an advisor, I also encourage you to make an account. It allows you to save some things. I'll show you different pieces of that. But there is a lot of research that a user can do in the Transfer Virginia website. So let's start. You've got the yellow bar along the top that has some things that I'll show, but we've also got this blue bar toward the top. And boy, you know, our eye is set to read from left to right. So the first thing that many users will see is Get Started. And I think that's a beautiful place to start. It's there for a purpose. So a number of basic questions can be answered on the Get Started button. How do I get started? How do I find out which colleges and universities are in the portal and learn something about them? You know, you're going to see in a couple places, log in or create an account. Why? Things that are pretty common. I want to know if my courses or my prior learning will earn college credit when I transfer. I don't know anything about the colleges in Virginia. Where can I go for the major I want? How can I find classes offered at a college and get information about them? So we've got some really basic things to help guide users. We definitely encourage users to explore the portal. Start clicking on things or start asking yourself a question as though you were a student wanting to transfer. Where might you click and what might you find? Follow the steps. I'm going to show you the transfer steps drop down that we have. You can look at information about the participating colleges. Use the transfer tools. There's some really cool stuff we can do. Find transfer credits. You've already taken some courses at a college, a community college, for example, or you've got AP exam scores from high school. How do those translate into college credits? And then finally, we do encourage everybody to create an account. There's just additional features that come with that. So I'll let you read through a lot of this information on your own. I'm simply going to show you like some of the major headings under these different things. So that was what was under Get Started. Under the transfer steps, think about this. How do you know as a student what is transfer? How do I start one place and go to another? How do degrees build upon each other? So we've got these different drop downs that will open new pages, explore options, get advice, make decisions, and maybe that's financial decisions or location decisions, size of college, that kind of thing. Create a plan and prepare to transfer. So there's additional reading under each of these drop downs. Transfer tools. These are probably some of the big headings. Where can my major transfer? I'm a business student at a community college. I think I want to go into accounting. Well, where can I go for accounting? And in fact, this will allow a student to put in their major and get a list based on CIP codes, CIP codes of their degree, what four-year universities say that that degree feeds into theirs. Where will my course transfer? And this is a good one if a student is dual enrollment or they've taken an AP exam, something like that. Where will that transfer? And I'll show you an easy way to find that too. This one, where can I find an equivalent course? Think about that four-year university student who's going back home for the summer, but wants to take a course at their local community college and transfer it back to their four-year degree. This is almost a reverse transfer lookup, but will be really handy come next spring when students are looking for that exact scenario. Check all my credits. I'm going to show a different place to do that. You can search for majors. Discover My Future is really looking at careers, at career exploration. And then you can search course catalogs either here or there's another place. We've tried to put quite a few things in two different places. The Resource Center is probably not the first place a student or a user should look, but it really is a library of a lot of the resources that live on the portal. For example, all of the guaranteed admission agreements that the four-year universities have, the document resides in the Resource Center, but on a program page, there's a shortened and abbreviated version of the GAA. It's a little bit easier to read than looking through some of those multi-page documents. But if a student wants to prepare for a meeting with a college advisor, there's actually a worksheet in the Resource Center that helps prepare what kind of questions should the student be prepared to answer. That might be asked by the advisor. The common course curricula that the community colleges are working on right now, all of those course summaries reside in the Resource Center. In the fall, the transfer guides, the agreements between the 2 years and the 4 years that are being worked on will reside in the Resource Center. So it's becoming a nice repository of a lot of information for users and for colleges. Also, here is the contact and institution link. This is available for a user to email a college directly. It opens the user's local email. You can fill out the information and it sends it to whatever email address the college has loaded into the portal. Chances are it's like the admissions email or that initial, I'm a new student, I could potentially be a new student and I just want some general information, that kind of email. It goes outside of the portal. And I make that distinction because we have one through the portal in just a moment. Up along the yellow bar, the transfer partners. Let me show you this. I love it. The transfer partners link shows all of our 2-year transfer partners, 4-year transfer partners, future transfer partners, and additional Virginia colleges. All right, what's the difference? These transfer partners are what we call full partners. You have the institution profile information that you can get about the colleges, help students compare which college might be the best fit for them. The list of programs, the degrees that are offered by each college is available from our transfer partners. Coming later this summer, you'll be able to see course by course requirements for most of the programs at our transfer partners. So this is really robust information about the full partners, 2-year and 4-year. Future transfer partners are colleges where you can see the institution profile and learn about the colleges, throw them into the comparison, if you will, but you're not going to see the list of programs and the program plan details yet. A good number of these will be coming on as full partners in the next year. Some of them, for example, the Virginia Military Institute doesn't take transfer students. So they are here so that high school students can see the basic information, the institution profile, to decide if they want to go there. But it would be as a freshman. These additional Virginia colleges we hope to bring on in the future. Right now, they're not participating at any level. So this is really great information. This is probably the first place I would go if a student isn't sure where they want to go. Start here and use this as an exploration tool. Under the catalog search, by default, it opens to the degree programs, but if you click on courses, it moves over and looks at courses in the database. I recommend that you don't wade through the thousands of programs, but use the filtering tools. You can filter by the name of the university or college that you want to look at. You can only look at specific awards. You could look just at transfer degrees. That mostly means Associate of Arts and Sciences, or an Associate of Science, for example, as opposed to an Associate of Applied Science, which typically aren't transferable, but there are some programs that do have transfer options. You could filter by career cluster. I want to look at business programs specifically. Well, click on business management and administration. Law, public safety, corrections, and security. Narrow down the list of programs by the interest. Are you a full-time worker and so you want to only take classes online? Click the online button. That will show you the programs that are available to be completed completely online. You can do the same thing over in courses by looking at just those that are available online as well. We've tried to set that up to give you as many options as possible, but narrow this list down. Also along the yellow bar, we've got events. And so we encourage colleges to load their transfer specific events into the calendar. Right now, Tidewater is the only college that has their events loaded. Everyone is able to, but then what we want is for either students at your college to see when you're holding a transfer fair, for example, or maybe you have a career and transfer center on your campus and you're Germanna and you've got a representative from VCU coming on campus. You want to put that on your calendar so that your students know, oh, VCU is going to be here on Wednesday, that kind of thing. If you are VCU, you may want to put a calendar item on to say, hey, we're welcoming transfer students on campus this week to do a tour, see if you want to come to VCU. So it works both ways. And you see a login prompt there, and you see a create an account log there, or link there. I encourage everyone to create an account. First, for users, for students, by creating the account, it allows you to add things to My Story. I'll show you that in just a moment. It allows you to bookmark some of these pages that we've looked at. Maybe you're interested in a particular college and you want to bookmark their the transfer partners card. When you open that up, you want to bookmark their institution profile so that you can then come back and compare several colleges. If you go to a particular program page, you might want to bookmark that again, so you have easy access back to it. Other users who might want accounts. You might be a faculty advisor, and you are at a community college and you want to be able to meet with students in your program. You might create an account and load in all of the classes in the portfolio that your students should take to complete your degree. When you meet with the students, you're then able to look at how those courses will transfer to the various 4 years, and help guide the student to the right classes for the right college, if that's what it comes down to. Other users might not want to add things into a portfolio, but see how a particular course transfers from one college into yours. There are different ways that you can use this. High school advisors, high school counselors might want to create an account and then put in your schools. Maybe you're an IB high school, and so you have certain IB classes that students can take. Plug those in to your portfolio and help students choose where they might transfer best. So different ways that you can do that. I am now going to log in as a student. I want to just show you one really cool thing. Whoops, always helps to get the right password. Okay, when you log in, it opens up two really nice steps. Again, this is a great way to get started. So build your story. I'm going to show you that. Check your credits. Explore transfer really helps you, again, go through those programs and understand the transfer options. There are some good checklists in the Resource Center. You can follow that note there. And then finally, we want to engage with students. So there is a way through the portal to express interest in a particular college or even ask questions if they haven't been answered through the portal. So I will get to that as I go across the blue. The blue bar options have changed just a little bit once you log in. One really valuable piece under My Story. Yes, you've added to your portfolio when you created your account, and you can then go in and edit your portfolio, or your profile if you need to. But the portfolio here is huge. I'm not going to show you how to add things to a portfolio. I've actually got a separate training that you can watch a video for, but it's super easy. Click on the plus and add to portfolio. Really nice. I've already added a number of things here, a couple of courses. Oops, there's my timer. A couple of courses, AP exams, and I want to show you how those might apply to college credits. Click Check My Credits. This shows you how your credits might apply at the various colleges. And so we start off with the 4-year institutions and follow that up with the 2-year institutions, because we know students go up 2 to 4 year, but they also might go 2 to 2 or even 4 to 2 or 4 to 4. So I'm just going to click on, I don't know, Danville, pick one. This is going to show how the credits are evaluated for the credits that will apply to the credentials that were in the portfolio, but also, I think just as important, what isn't showing. So right now, Danville is saying they're going to give 28 credits. It shows you AP Biology, AP Chemistry. There's a public speaking class from Germana. There's the English class, English AP, and there's a psychology class. So Danville is actually going to award, I think, all of those credits. Yeah, they didn't leave anything off the table. If you go back and, all right, here's one, William and Mary. They are only going to award 4. Principles of public speaking, but only 1 credit for psychology. It does say actual transfer credit may vary. We've got a lot of notes in here. Non-evaluated, and there might be an explanation. I bet I only put in a 3 as a score on biology, and I bet William and Mary wants a 4 or a 5. And so these are the kinds of things that there's a little bit of an explanation. I always encourage users, if you think you should get more credit for something, or there isn't any credit even showing for biology, contact the institution and see, maybe it's just not loaded into the database that we're using for the portal. That is really valuable. The other thing that I do want to show very briefly is, I'm just going to pull up, let's pull up Roanoke College, and they have a Bachelor of Arts in Art History. So this is how you go to look for a program specifically. Later this summer, we should be seeing course by course requirements for most programs at our participating colleges. So VCCS and Richard Bland, we should see all of their programs. The four-year universities have a much bigger lift. We're going to see a few programs from each of them, I think in some cases all, but those are coming later this summer. Then you'll also be able to see how those Check My Credit estimates actually appear in the programs. Beautiful. Right now, this is helpful to go in and look at what we call the accordions, these drop-down menus for the programs. And let me quickly just click through and show you what they look like. So this is Roanoke and applicable admissions agreements. These are the guaranteed admission agreements or guaranteed program admission agreements. So for example, they have something with Richard Bland that is a GAA, so this should apply to all of Roanoke's programs. You can click on this to read more details about that. Program overview and guidance. So we have a couple things here. Cards, which might have additional information. This is actually going to take you to the web page for this program at Roanoke. This is telling you that it's available in person only, so no hybrid or online option, and that's grayed out. This is very helpful for the user, for the student. Is this degree right for me? Learn something about the program. Things you should consider when selecting courses. What can you do with this degree? This stuff is really helpful. Program successes and highlights. You're going to see things like, where do students get placed for internships? This particular college has a robotics club for their engineering students. You're going to learn information that might be helpful in making decisions. What if I have an associate degree or credit for prior learning? This is going to tell you this college's policy for those things. Transfer information for this college. Where can this degree transfer? So I happen to pull up a four-year university's art history degree. Chances are that student might not transfer, but if they do, here are other programs that will probably accept some of those classes or all of those classes. And then really critical, careers where this degree applies. So you've got museum technician and conservators for an art history degree. I want you to explore information like this so that when you're meeting with students, you can help them go through exactly what I just did. Go through those transfer steps. If the user, the student, still has questions or they want to meet with an advisor, they're ready to take that next step. When you click on College Connect, this is the way to send a message through the portal. It pulls the profile information that was entered when the student created an account, and you want to select a reason for the request. So I intend to apply to your school. I want to know how my credits apply to a particular program that's maybe not loaded yet, something like that. Choose the reason, type in the name of the institution that the message is going to. Indicate, what is your planned degree program and when do you plan to start? This message is free flow text. So I would like to schedule an appointment with an advisor. When you save the selection, it sends the message through the portal. And so the people operating the portal at that institution will get the message. And it also sends an email to the advisor manager, which is a role through the portal at that institution. And then they have internal processes to then send that message out to the appropriate person. In this case, if I want to meet with an advisor, they're going to send it to an advisor, and specifically to that program if the university has advisors for programs. Super. That's where I want to leave this training. Please, if you have any questions at all, or you'd like further training, look at the training schedule, or you can email me at mcrenshaw@vccs.edu. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the, I'm going to try to stop the recording. There we go.